Hello and good morning. I went live and then my stream spontaneously cut off. Please let me know that I am live and you can see me. Go ahead and let me know how your morning or afternoon or evening has been. Just gonna wait until I get some feedback. Make sure you can all see me and hear me. I'm gonna say that we're live, and that's great. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Awesome. Seeing you now. Okay, great. Then I'm going to start. Welcome to Mindfulness Sessions for Entrepreneurs. My name is Andrea Ferguson. It is a lovely day, and I had my walk. I have got my hot cacao here. There is a difference between cacao and cocoa. Did you know that there's a difference? There is a difference. And whenever I try to ask for it when I am out, apparently Shankar thinks that that is not something I should ask. But there's a huge difference. Like one has sugar, it's powdery, it's manufactured, it is processed, and the other has alkaline, non processed, has a whole bunch of properties that are good for you. And I just love drinking cacao in the morning. I thought I would tell you a few of these things so you can get to know me a bit more about what's in my cup and how I do my life. And maybe if you have some questions or you can identify or relate, like what do you drink in the morning? Do you drink tea? Do you drink coffee? Do you drink water? Do you drink something else? I would love to know. But this is essentially one of my hacks that I use for energy. And I'm not going to go through a string of hacks. Today is all about life hacks for entrepreneurs. I just want to focus on 3 energy centers. And before I get into that, you can call them principles, tools, strategies, whatever, but it really revolves around centers. If you could share right now, share to your network, let other people come in, and then we can talk about it together. You can give me some of your life hacks that you use to optimize your day to day. So let's see. Let's start the day off right. Okay. So I have actually a couple of videos that I want to play for you. So I'm going to bring up my YouTube, and you must be thinking, Andrea, what are these 3 energy centers? What are you talking about? Why do you talk about it like that? Because I like keeping things kind of as simple as possible. Simple doesn't always mean easy, but something memorable. And to me, what is very easy to understand is that there's a few things that matter in life, and they all, like I said, come down to these 3 basic things, which is your mental energy, your physical energy, and your emotional energy. If you are really good at managing all of those, type in yes. If it's so, type in kind of. And if not, if you want, you can type in not really or no. Because I know that who can master all of these things? I'm having kind of some trouble getting to this. I might have to type it in. Bear with me, please. All right, let's see here. Don't see anybody typing anything in. there we go. Something. Okay. All right. Well, I would say that we can always optimize, right? And hopefully that's why you're here, to find some hacks that work for you. And like I said, I didn't want to get too overwhelming with all of the financial hacks that you can have and all of the ways that you can do better your physical health and this and that. I just wanted to keep it really contained with just these 3 simple things to think about: mental energy, physical energy, emotional energy. And I feel like this is one of the things that entrepreneurs have got down really, really well on top of their solid routines, is they understand these 3 components very well, which is like the general guided principles that are agreed upon by most experts and renowned uh, researchers and professors. They talk about it a lot. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to mental energy and in terms of productivity. So there's 2 ways to think about what's called the 2-minute rule. If you've heard of the 2-minute rule, type in yes. If you've heard of the 2-minute rule. Some of you will have heard of the 2-minute rule by David Allen, or by, who's it, James Clear in the Atomic Habits book. But James Clear talks about small habits and how the 2-minute rule can help with you establishing habits and stacking habits and all of that. David Allen talks about it more in a kind of a processing type of way, which is what I love because I do operations. I'm the COO of Shanks, do quite a bit of operations and growth as well. You can click my face, find out more. I think I do have in here, let's see. Yeah, you can go to andreaferguson.com to get the affirmations and meditations. But yeah, so I really want to boil it down to these 2 things, and I want to talk about it. To this one thing, 2-minute rule when it comes to mental energy, because I think that's an easy takeaway for you. So I'm just going to share a video clip, 2 video clips, one of James Clear talking about it, and the other of David Allen talking about it. So let me just share my screen here. Go to YouTube. That is not. Okay. Let's see. Aha. I figured it out. Okay.
The keys to a productive life can be found in science. That's according to author James Clear, who says breaking down tasks into small, achievable goals leads to higher productivity. Think about that for a second. He applies Sir Isaac Newton's laws of motion to achieve these targets.
Clear writes, Newton's 3 laws of motion can be used as an interesting analogy for increasing your productivity, simplifying your work, and improving your life. More than 400,000 users subscribe to Clear's newsletter. I'm one of them. On habits and performance, his work has been used by the teams in the NFL, NBA, and MLB, as well as leaders of Fortune 500 companies. James Clear is here. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
So tell us about your the new work that you're doing.
Sure. So habits are really important because they compound over time. So, if you were able to just get 1% better each day for a whole year, you'd end up almost 37 times better by the time you're done with it. So they seem like really small choices, right? In the moment, it seems like nothing in order to make these choices. But over the span of our lifetimes, they end up making the difference between who you are and who you could be.
Right. The New York Times is coining that term, essentially micro progress, to describe breaking it down into small units to achieve a bigger goal. What's a way to start that?
Sure. So I like to talk about the 2-minute rule. And the idea here is that you want to downscale your habit until it only takes 2 minutes to do. So for example, Going for a run might be downscaled into just tying your running shoes, or folding the laundry is downscaled into fold the first pair of socks, or
Just start it, is
yeah.
your point.
The idea is that we
Don't feel like
often
you have to finish it.
optimize for the result, but instead we should optimize for the starting line, not the finish line.
Yeah, you said don't look at the big picture of success. You should really concentrate on just do something.
Well, when you achieve a result, you really only change your life for the moment. Like achieving your goal, if you have the goal to clean your room, for example, then your room is clean now, but if you don't change the habits, the pack rat, sloppy habits behind that goal, then you're gonna have a messy room 2 weeks from now.
Why are habits important, James?
Well, habits, of course, get us the results that we want. So they can help us earn more money or lose weight or be more productive. But the real reason that habits matter is because each action that you take is like a vote for the type of person that you want to become. So they help you embody the sense of being that type of person. Each time you write, you are a writer. Each time you play the violin, you are a musician. Each time you work out, you are an athlete. And so your habits are the method through which you embody your identity and develop your sense of self, your self-image.
We are what we repeatedly do. Tell me if there's a huge problem I've got. Let's say addiction to technology. How do I take a massive thing like that I want to fix and break it down into manageable pieces?
Sure. Well, I mean, we're all addicted to our phones. We have our smartphones on us all the time. Where do you leave your phone at night?
In my hand as I cuddle it with it.
I mean, this is what a lot of people deal with, right? Their phone is the last thing they see when they go to bed at night, and the first thing they see when they wake up in the morning. So one thing that you could do is just move your phone to a different place to charge it. So you could charge in the bathroom, for example. Set your alarm there, and then the only goal here is just to reduce the amount of time that you're going to mindlessly browse while you're laying in bed.
What about those initiating actions that cause me during the day to go change it? Do I have to get habits to get me from being triggered?
Well, these cues are everywhere, right? And so, for example, if you look on my phone, I've tried to reduce some of the cues so that I have no apps on the home screen,
cues,
right? And the goal here is just to increase the friction a little bit. So I can still go to Instagram, for example, and swipe over, and then it's inside this nested folder. But I just don't want to do it mindlessly. And so the whole idea with habits is
I have to stop there. Or at least pause, because if you know me, you know what I'm going to say about this. I loved hearing this. Okay. I don't want to do it mindlessly. So we're talking about mindfulness for entrepreneurs, life hacks for entrepreneurs. And one of the things that successful entrepreneurs have down pat, business owners know, I don't have the time to waste. So I'm going to make every drop of my time count. I have met countless other COOs who have been for decades doing what they do. And the one thing that I love is hearing I am ruthless with my time. Now, to be ruthless with your time means you have to be very conscious of it, very aware, very mindful. So when we're talking about productivity, when we're talking about these life hacks, when we're talking about using the 2-minute rule, now he's going into more of the habits and all of that stuff, but it really comes down to mindfulness. I want you to know this is how important it is that you be mindful and aware, and the importance of us having these conversations and talks. And I'll let him continue. We're almost done here. 1 minute.
to try to increase the amount of friction that are associated with bad habits, to put more steps between you and the bad behaviors and fewer steps between you.
You're the expert at the table. What's your best habit, do you think?
I
It
think
tells us what
probably
you
the
are.
best one is
Yeah.
that I leave my phone in another room until lunch each day. And so that gives me like 3 to 4 hours of focused,
Till lunch
productive
each day?
work
Wow.
to just.
Do you have any friends? Do you have a wife?
Very
know how
few,
you do
but I
that.
do have a
You
great
very
one.
few.
Yeah. But make a habit of reading his newsletter. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah, and we kept talking
John was
about
raving about
we
it,
kept
yeah.
teasing Sir Isaac Newton, so we should at least point out quickly, you know, one of his 3 laws, right? Objects in motion tend to stay in motion.
Yeah. Getting started, it allows you to develop the most effective form of motivation, which is progress. And so if you can see yourself getting these small wins, then you have a reason to continue working. And if you start in just a small way, then you're going to want to keep going.
Thank you, James
That
Clear.
was my goal this year. It's like, don't worry, just get on the treadmill and walk for 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, you're there, it's 30 minutes, it's 40 minutes. You started it. Yeah.
Just started. Thank you, James Clear.
You're welcome.
Very nice to meet you.
Okay. So that it's that simple. That's what it's all about, right? So if a task takes 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. This is going to help you reduce your mental clutter. Now, again, this is we're talking about habits with James Clear, but let me talk about productivity real quick with someone who actually came out with a book in 2001, and which I was exposed to when I went to college, by David Allen. Okay, so let me find it, and it's called Getting Things Done. But I just want to show you how that would look in terms of productivity, like practically, what does that do, right? So I will share with you now. And if you can hear the audio, please type in yes, because I want to make sure that you can hear the audio. Good morning to you. Thank you. It's a day by day or even minute by minute challenge, balancing and mastering those 3 areas. Yeah, it is. So hopefully this helps. Wow, it is 7:20. So I'm going to go ahead and share this now. Here we go.
The 2-minute rule. Come on, this thing is gold. If you haven't built that in as a habit yet, believe me, it's one of the best habits you can build in. And, you know, it's simply one of those little tactical techniques that sort of rose to the surface as this whole methodology of GTD was being sort of unfolded and developed. But it turns out to be simply a great technique, just in and of itself, because it'll save you tons of time to not open up an email and then close it back up again if it would take you less than a couple of minutes to dispatch it. In high email environments, by the way, we pretty much made an educated guess that 30 to 40% of your actionable emails probably could have a turnaround in less than 2 minutes, assuming you have some decent keyboard skills. So don't let those things lie fallow. So you want to kind of think of yourself as Teflon, you know, don't let this stuff stick around you if there's any way you can get rid of it. Obviously, throw it away if you can. I mean, that's the first thing. If you look at something, look, I don't need this, or this is really irrelevant, get rid of it. And then, if it's, no, I can't get rid of it, can you do the next thing on this in 2 minutes or less? And the reason the 2-minute rule showed up is that just seems to be about the edge where it would take you longer to track it and review it than it actually would be to finish it. It becomes extremely powerful, by the way, because the more subtle aspect of it is that when people really start to say, well, how long would this take me to do the next action? It actually trains them into next action thinking. And a lot of people haven't really built that muscle as a habitual muscle yet. And so just getting them to think about, can I do this in 2 minutes? Do what? Oh, just replace that battery. Oh, just go, you know, put a new light bulb in. So 2-minute rule is fabulous because it actually gets you very much into executive thinking. You know, make a quick decisions, get it off your plate right now, get it moving, keep the flow going. I've got a lot of executives who would tell me that was just worth the price of admission, just the 2-minute rule, in terms of how much that affected their ability to, you know, make sure work didn't stick and didn't stick around. Frankly, guys, if just where you live, if you just implemented the 2-minute rule where you live, it'll be a lot cleaner and more efficient. I mean, how long would it take you to change that light bulb or to replace that battery or to put that thing away, you know, that's sitting there? So 2-minute rule, fabulous.
So now you know, 2 different ways of looking at the 2-minute rule. You've got David Allen, you've also got James Clear. And I really love this flow chart because I love ops, right? So here's a flow chart also to help you. And okay, so you see it's stuff in. What is it? Is it actionable? No, it's not. So goes into the trash, or maybe it's something I'll do later. For reference, this one doesn't actually have the 2 minutes, but that's where it goes. So I'm going to stop sharing that. But if it is something you can do in 2 minutes, you do it. And by the way, if you have heard of this before, type in yes. And if you haven't, say new, because I want to know that I'm adding value by introducing something that may be useful or helpful into your life. Type in new. I'd love to know that. Almost done here. Just one more. And I'm telling you, so these three energy centers with your mental energy center, your physical energy center, and your physical, your mental, and your emotional energy center. If you can take care of that, just introduce some hacks and categorize it in that way, then it's going to be pretty useful for you. So the last one that I have, well, we didn't go into the physical one We're actually just kind of maybe I should do the physical energy one tomorrow, or let me try. Let me try. Maybe we can just finish this off and move on. I call it movement snacks. You know how you have to get a break, you have to get up, you have to I need a snack, I need a quick something. If you actually think about doing work, the most productive spurts for me, and not just me, this is according to renowned experts and even neuroscientists will tell you, like, just Google Andrew Huberman and he will talk to you and tell you 90 minutes is about probably the limit at which you should just like go, 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 and then take a break. And I'm not talking about a break that means looking at your phone because you're confining and straining your eyes and yourself to this phone. That's still a type of work. But go outside, take a walk, replenish yourself, whatever. And so while you're thinking about that you could have a movement snack. So that's at least taking care of your physical body. Isn't it crazy that we have to talk about embedding movement into the life of a human being when we were never meant to be standing still for more than I don't know the exact amount of time, but as human beings, we are not supposed to be sitting down for as long as we are. And I do have a something that's funny that I want to show you. And it'll take all of 30 seconds. Let's see if I can find this. All right, here it is. Let me see, share my screen really quickly. So 30 seconds on sitting.
Sitting is inherently not the way the body is designed to be. Sitting is associated with a catastrophic volume of ill health. Get up. Get up in body, get up in spirit, get up in mind. Create an uprising. Do it in yourself, and if you see somebody who needs help, give them a hand to get up too.
And while you're at it, go make it a movement snack. Make it a movement snack. So that means get up, get a cup of tea. Like, I love tea so much. Go outside, take a fresh breath of air because that's going to help you anyway. It's really good for you. But, at least stand up and stretch every 1 to 2 minutes, even if you don't go outside. And every hour, or I say like at 90 minutes max, you're going to want to stretch, you're going to want to move around your eyes and all of these things. It's not anything new, but I'm telling you, movement snack, just boil it down to that physical energy, that center movement snack. Just keep yourself moving. And then of course, the last thing that I have is about your emotional center. And I'll need to look at my notes because there's so much I can say and I just want to keep on track. And I'm going to tell you just these 2 words: emotional, non-negotiable. I could say so much about it, but emotional, non-negotiable. So I love Brene Brown. There's a TED Talk by her from about probably 2010, where she talks about the power of vulnerability and how at the core of vulnerability is shame, fear, and struggles of worthiness, but it's also the birthplace of joy and creativity and love and belonging. And that is really important, almost more important probably than physical and mental. Maybe not more important, but just as important is that you take care of your emotional center. So when you can do things that are going to help you rejuvenate yourself, then you're taking care of that. And that is really kind of a hack at life. Is really kind of a hack at life. And so I would say, like, you can have these emotional non-negotiables every single day, something that infuses you with joy or happiness or gets you emotionally high. that doesn't involve like this negative lifestyle or negative, how would I explain it? Maladaptive technique, right? What are some maladaptive things that we do? We eat fast food, we eat junk food, we do things, we put garbage into our body. Maybe you get the sugar rush when you drink a whole can of Coke, or when you're, I don't want to bash anybody, but I did study public health and nutrition, and I can tell you, at least here in North America, also in Europe, also in South America. Oh, that's right, the whole entire world, in Asia, everywhere, we have these maladaptive behaviors because we're trying to emotionally regulate, and it's not always in the right way. And so instead of choosing a junk food or something that will give you this emotional high, that is going to give you an emotional crash as well, or physical crash, and that messes with your nervous system and your just your overall health. I would say get up and do something. And even if it can't be done daily, maybe it's weekly, maybe it's monthly, maybe it's quarterly, maybe it's biannually. Shankar and I are starting to travel a whole lot more. Guess what? When we come back, we are physically, mentally, emotionally rejuvenated. You can do things like take a walk, talk to a friend. You can do reading, you can do nature walks. A lot of this has to do with getting outside of yourself, but you need to make sure that your emotional energy is replenished. Instead of making it an afterthought, it needs to be a priority. And so think about these non-negotiables. For me, one of my biggest non-negotiables is just not taking the phone when I don't feel well. Like, I'm not going to give my energy to someone that I know is going to suck it and drain it. And so you got to think about what are your emotional non-negotiables, and what can you do every day to replenish yourself, every week, every month. Think about those things and then start to make that a part of your life. So we have the mental energy center we're taking care of. We have the physical energy we're taking care of, and we have the emotional. So you are getting up, walking around, make sure you don't have this sitting disease, as Dr. Levine describes. Maybe you're making sure that you are taking care of yourself emotionally because you are not negotiating with terrorists, like emotional terrorists. And then also mentally, in terms of productivity, you're just doing this 2-minute rule. I'm not going to let it hang over my head. And maybe for those of you who are caretakers, mothers or fathers, you're going to just not let something sit around. Maybe when it comes down to physical stuff like cleaning up, if it's 5 minutes or less, I do it. I try not to leave dishes on the, I'm not perfect at it. I also have Shankar here, right? But I try not to let it linger. It's going to be in the dishwasher, or it's going to be hanging up on the sink, because it just piles up and it's a whole bunch of things to do. And if you can't hire help, that gets really frustrating. But make up your bed. That's less than 2 minutes. Also trains your brain, as David Allen was saying. And we have hit our threshold right now. It is past 7:30 Central Time. So I'm going to let you go back into the rest of your day. I gotta start earlier, get a little bit tighter so that we can go into our affirmations and visualization, because I know that some of you come specifically for that. But if you do go to AndreaFerguson.com, you can find affirmations that I will leave with you for the day. And also, do let me know, tell me what you'd like me to discuss with you all. Please leave it in the comments, subscribe, follow, and don't forget to visit AndreaFerguson.com. I want you to have an incredibly mindful day. Don't forget to boss your mindset. See you back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Time. Next time I know, I'll just go over one energy center at a time, but hopefully these life hacks have been helpful for you. Just those 3 things and you'll be fine. I promise you, it'll all work out. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely, mindful day. And thank you. Grateful for you showing up. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.